possibly if I could get a survey done right now, and who is the most hated person right now in the entire room, that would be me, I guess, because I'm standing in between a sumptuous lunch and you guys in an already delayed agenda of the day. But I'll try to keep it sweet and short, won't take much of your time, and I promise whatever time and patience and attention you provide to me would be worth it. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sumit Sharma. I'm founder of GoBOLT. We are an end-to-end transport management system organization. Have been there for the past 7 years, providing efficiencies, value additions, technology to enterprises like yours. The topic of my discussion is a very well-known and beloved topic, given the panel discussions I've been privileged to attend to. Digital transformation, raising the performance of supply chain and logistics to the next level. Now, how does this work? How does this work then? Okay. See, we are a technology conference, this is not working, can you help me? Oh, it's working. Oh, thank you. Thanks to technology. Now, this is what is all about. If I was giving this keynote session a couple of decades back, possibly a lot of struggle would happen, not much of a struggle today. So what are we struggling as supply chain leaders and logistics experts? Well, what is our bread and butter? Our bread and butter is we look into distribution, we look into the goods and services that get manufactured, and we try to reach it to our customers, adding happy customers day by day. But what are the challenges we as supply chain experts face? How do we manage the operations? Is it all manual? Because we are working with organizations that are history of decade providing excellence, but are we up to the time? Have we used the power of technology and automation to the T? How do I provide my customer the kind of experience he deserves, the kind of experience my product deserves? But if the distribution is not as efficient as possibly my product, the customer experience goes for a toss. So how do we look into that? We all have some form of technology present in our supply chain and logistics. Either we are using a CRM system, we are using an ERP system, we are doing tracking, or we are doing some form of maybe automated billing. But these fragmented systems, are they providing those kind of efficiencies which we are really looking into? Or have we settled ourselves into, okay, this is what I should expect out of technology, it's becoming too much of a hassle, better I do things manually. So why these fragmented systems exist and how can we integrate the entire experience so that the operations or the operational efficiencies can rise? How do I drive seamless adoption? Now this is one of the most trickiest part when you talk about technology adoption in supply chain and logistics. We historically have not been the sector that have adopted technology because of many reasons. Because there are different layers that use this technology. The fragmentation of our business operations is huge. We have not been able to get hands to a truly end-to-end technology. So basically, adoption becomes a big challenge rather than identification of technology. So what does this industry want? They want systems that are resilient. My supply chain should be resilient. It should be agile, nimble. It should have responsiveness, accuracy, efficiency, and visibility. And all of these keywords, which were basically, I would say, jargonization a few years ago. But after the sort of disruptions we have witnessed over the past 2 years, be it COVID disruptions, be it wars, be it supply-side disruptions, this have become the reality of life. Now, what is the answer to this? We have identified the problem. The answer is supply chain 4.0. Now, what exactly is supply chain 4.0? Supply chain 4.0 is nothing but a system of integrated systems which uses the power of AI and ML to put the expectations of your customer at the forefront and provide you the cost and operational efficiencies that you are looking into your system. There are 4 different levers on which you can assess basically how these new kind of technologies can work. Basically, those help in data analytics, AI, ML power, specifically used for demand forecasting in most of the industries. the logistics planning, optimizations, be it route optimizations, be it vehicle optimizations that we use, warehouse modernizations, because we see a lot of efficiencies get stuck up at different nodal levels. It is the weakest link. You can have a superbly efficient supply chain, but if one of the links of supply chain, be it transportation, warehousing, last mile, first mile, mid mile, gets stuck up, the entire efficiency goes for a toss. And final, developing good suppliers into the system, because all of us understand we have a heavy reliance on suppliers. It's a fragmented market. We have many regional transporters, national transporters working with us. How do we bring everyone on board to the same kind of efficiency level that we expect? These are the 4 pillars that define the new wave of technology disruptions that's happening in supply chain. First is automating your supply chain. Basically, do away with any kind of manual processes. You have an entire value chain of logistics and distribution. Start automating different processes. Start digitizing different processes. Bring everything on a simple platform so that you get control of and visibility of end-to-end processes. Bring customer experience and customer wants to the center of it, because the kind of value we want to drive would be appreciated by a happy customer. And that's our end goal. That's the end goal for most of the industries that are working around. Integrated supply chain. A fragmented system is as good as having no system at all. You can have tracking in bits and pieces. You can have some kind of automations in bits and pieces. You can have indent management. You can have supplier management in bits and pieces, getting auctions done through technology. But if you're not integrating all these efforts, it really gets lost. There are no synergies that you can drive out of it. And finally is adoption. Yes, you can purchase technology. You can have best of the technology providers, global and national, come on board. But how do you bring every stakeholder on the same plate, on the same board? You have different warehousing staff working for you, transporter management, mid-level, senior management, everybody to bring on the same page for the kind of vision that you see, that the kind of efficiencies you would want to see. That's where a company like us is trying to bridge the gap. What we do is we help you take it from a traditional supply chain model to a modern GoBOLT empowered supply chain model. What's the difference? The difference is basically a solid architecture and the kind of services that we provide to you. The architecture, basically a private cloud architecture enabled by Google. We are a strategic partner for Google, which helps you make your supply chain nimble and responsive. And different services which binds different operations, be it indent management, be it planning, be it tracking, be it reconciliations of freight payments, be it billing, be it data analytics, be it predictive analytics, control of dashboards, everything, every microservices brought onto the same platform. This is our entire ecosystem. What we have essentially done is we have built a modular technology which combines different operations, buckets into different modules. These modules work independently. These modules work together seamlessly because they are integrated, the data flows seamlessly, and what you get is an end-to-end efficiency. Be it your dispatch planning and optimizations, what kind of loads to be given, FTL loads, PTL loads, what kind of vehicles, which is the most optimized kind of vehicles. Should I take dedicated vehicles or should I be reliant on market vehicles? Every kind of efficiency built into the system. Auctions, the beloved word for us. How do I do price discoveries? How do I lower the transportation cost every year? How do I identify the good vendors? How do I groom them into the system? How do I rate them? Everything built into the system. Vehicle tracking, indent management, seamlessly providing indents, having a transferability, having a transparency to what kind of indents are given to what kind of vendors, how they are performing, their dashboards, freight payment automations and analytics. A lot of our bandwidth goes into how we reconcile different freights, how we provide bills to our customer, how we do payments to our vendors, everything seamlessly automated into a single system. And finally is the yard management system, possibly relevant for some of the industries, some commodities, bulk industries, where they also struggle with one more problem where, of course, on the outside system, everything is fine, but what happens within the plant? How do I seamlessly integrate what I'm doing after the dispatch is ready to before the dispatch is ready? So there are different modules. I'll be happy to take you through. We have a kiosk just outside. My team is around. They'll be happy to share details on how these things are happening. Finally, we come to how do we know we are doing well? By the kind of happy customers, by the kind of customers' efficiencies we have been able to build. I have just two small case studies, possibly relevant to most of the participants present here. One of the heavy and bulk commodity manufacturer, one of the biggest in the industry, of course, on a known basis, with a 6,000 plus crore revenue. What was the problem that they were facing? Their problem was simple. They don't have visibility. Within their plants, there were hundreds and thousands of vehicles moving day in, day out. They don't know which vehicle has reported, which is reporting to what bay, which is to be loaded for what destination, nothing. And a lot of efficiency was tied up, a lot of cost was tied up in that. Higher transportation costs, no digitization, no digital processes, all manual paperwork. What we did was, we provided these modules to them. Auto allocation, how the reporting of their trucks come into their plants, auto allocated to the bays, identified which goods to be sent, which destinations to be loaded, bay area management, driver reconciliation on basically how the drivers are informed for what bays to be placed, everything. Indent management, in-plant monitoring, RFID systems, we do a lot of hardware systems as well, because a lot of IoT is required to enable AI and ML. We can discuss in detail, not much time for me. It already says time's up, but still I'll take 5 more minutes. And then there are certain other EPOD kind of delivery management systems. What was the impact? A measurable impact, because most of us struggle with a measurable impact. Of course, there are good words to be said, but finally it comes down to how I can quantify it. Quantification was there. There was a 40% reduction in average plant TAT, which means lesser cost. There was 27% reduction in gate in, gate out. This was one of the major problems. And if you put this to the kind of volumes they have, the cost efficiencies was tremendous, humongous. And that's where our happy customers, our satisfied customers makes us happy that we are in the right direction. Second, a very different sector, retail sector, very different kind of challenges. And heavy and bulk is struggling with the volumes that they say. A retail brand, it requires the nimbleness. It requires the TAT efficiency. It requires the express kind of speeds so that the customers can get the goods the next day within hours. Very different set of industry type, very different problems. Their problems. They were tech savvy. They already had technology system. But as I said, here and there, somebody is using something, some regional office is using something. They are using a tracking system. Indent management is done on a separate system. No integration at all. Partner onboarding, partner identification, they wanted to grow in India, but how do they get the reliant supplier source? How do they understand this supplier is doing well? What are the metrics to judge that? And of course, lack of data-driven insights. They are generating a lot of data, but what are you doing with that data? Are there any kind of insights which helps you to improve yourself? The solutions. We automated the systems, we integrated their individual ERP system without making it different. Our systems can overlay on any existing system. Our system is a very open system, integrates with all the ERP systems and provide you a seamless experience with a single dashboard. How did it impact? A 6.5% freight cost reduction, which is huge. We all understand what kind of industry we are working in. This is a very low margin industry, and this kind of freight reduction is game changing for any sector. 25% enhancement in employee productivity, the kind of employees they were using in their warehouses, their plants, etc., and 100% data-driven decision making. This was critical for them. Now they started getting data in the form they can assess, they can understand, they can read, they can make their decisions on. Testimonials, we don't say, industry experts like you say, that not just us, but the technology in the holistic sense is the need of the hour. Most of the panel discussions members were saying, it is no longer a good to have thing, it's a must have thing. No supply chain model can sustain such kind of repeated disruptions without the use of technology. And now is the time when we all start understanding the potential of it. It's a self-financing engine. The time and effort we spend into technology development goes a long way in generating those kind of cost and operational efficiencies. This is all for me. A small snapshot on who we are. We are a 7-year-old organization, a 200-people organization, and ISO certified. Our India offices are in Gurgaon, Bangalore. We are working in 7 different nations with many happy customers, and we are backed by marquee investors, the likes of Paragon Partners, which is basically the office of Mr. Deepak Parekh, HDFC chairman. So we are backed by a very strong genesis of board of advisors and people who believe in the kind of vision we have seen. We have a kiosk just right outside. I invite everyone after the lunch, possibly if you can come to our kiosk, and we would be very happy to understand what your specific industry problems are and how we can put into. Thank you so much. That was my time. Enjoy your day. And thank you for patiently listening to me. Thanks.